Hi guys, good evening. Can someone please confirm whether I'm audible?
Yes, it's audible.
Okay, and can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Right. So guys, I'm going to assume that all of you have seen the video that I had uploaded on the group, video from Prashant Shah explaining the basics of point and figure. So at least you know how point and figure charts are plotted and the basic concept of point and figure. I hope that is familiar to everyone.
Yes, yes, it is.
Great. So today I'm going to touch upon some more advanced topics of point and figure. Prashant has already explained the basics of the charting, how it is plotted, and the basic patterns. We are going to take the webinar forward from where Prashant has dropped off. Okay, from where he finished. From there we'll take it forward. So we are assuming that all the basic concepts of point and figure are known to the audience over here. So we are going to use, as I had mentioned, we are going to use TradePoint to delve into point and figure. This is my favorite software for point and figure, and not just point and figure. It has a lot of different other features, scanning mechanisms, etc. So we'll go into all of that, and we'll discuss a lot of these topics today. Okay. So this is a Nifty chart. Okay. Now first thing, let me talk about the box values for point and figure. As Prashant had mentioned in his webinar, here we don't have a concept of time on the horizontal axis as we normally do. If we look at the candlesticks chart on TradingView, we have the time plotted on the horizontal axis and prices on the vertical axis. So in point and figure charts, we don't really have a concept of time. It is as per box values. So generally speaking, we may consider 0.25% box value to be equivalent of daily, 1% box value to be equivalent of weekly, and 3% box value to be equivalent of monthly. So you see here, these are the default values on the TradePoint software which are already given. 0.15% is something which we can use for intraday. So this is if you use 0.15 on a minute chart, per minute chart, it becomes an intraday. 0.25 is daily, 1% is weekly, and 3% is monthly. This is generally the norm we use for stocks. For index, it's a little different. For Nifty, for example, we will use 0.1% because Nifty is less volatile than stocks. So we have different box values depending on the volatility. So stocks have higher volatility, so we consider box sizes as 0.25, 1%, and 3%. For Nifty, it's better to look at 0.1%. Okay, 1 minute. People are still joining. Yeah. So here we have Nifty, the Nifty chart plotted on a 0.1% box value with a 3 box reversal value. So 0.1 into 3, that is 0.3% move if Nifty is making, then we will get a reversal column. So then we will get the next column plotted. Otherwise, there will not be a next column. So now there are certain patterns which are important in point and figure. Prashant has mentioned in his webinar about double top buy, double bottom sell, which I hope is now familiar to all of you. So double top buy is basically when the previous swing high is taken out. So we have this green column, which is column of X, and then we have the red column, which is column of O. So green column is when the stock is going up, red column is when the stock is coming down. Now, supposing this high of this green column, as you can see here, the high is mentioned here on the right side. When you move your cursor to this column, the high is shown as 14871. So whenever this 14871 is taken out, whenever the Nifty goes higher than that by 0.3% more than 14871, then we will get another green box plotted above this high. That is what is a double top buy, which Prashant has already explained. So I'm not going into too much detail about that. Now, some other patterns which I use and which I find pretty interesting. So I have plotted them here. You have this option of add study. So you go to add study and you can plot indicators here as well as you can plot patterns, right? So I have plotted one indicator which is the single moving average. This is the 10 column single moving average. So I have gone here, add study, indicators, single moving average, 10 column, and this black line is that moving average line, single moving average. So this moving average is the average price of 10 columns in each instance. This is not as per number of days. This is as per number of columns. This is a 10 column moving average. We generally consider when stocks are above the moving average, we consider the stock to be in a bullish trend. When the stock is below the moving average, we consider the stock to be in a bearish trend. That is the general scenario. Now, if stock is in a bullish trend, that is, it is above the moving average, and we get a double top buy, so we can enter that stock depending on, we can enter that stock with a small stop loss. Now, if you look at Nifty here, which we have plotted on a 0.1% box value on the daily chart, we can see Nifty has just come below the single moving average. It's kind of at the cusp of the moving average. So it might just turn bearish from here. And if we click on the green column, we can see it shows the, you see here, the DBS value. This is the double bottom sell value. So this is telling us that below 15664 Nifty spot, this is Nifty spot chart. So below 15664 Nifty, there is a possibility that a double bottom sell is generated on Nifty and it turns bearish because it will also be below the moving average. Okay, and for it to be bullish for us, if we click on the red column, we will find the double top buy value over here. You can see the DTB value. This is double top buy value. So the double top buy value is 15885. Nifty on spot chart, if it goes to 15885, it turns bullish for us. If it turns below 15665, it is bearish for us. In between, it's literally doing nothing. Which we can also see from the candlestick chart that we have literally been in a range for the last 1 month. You see these two light blue lines, we are basically traversing between them more or less, and this being the lowest extreme that we have. So this is the ultimate support of 15450, but more or less we are between this range of where we are presently and at the top end 15,900 we have touched almost 3 times and reversed from there sharply. So this is a major resistance now. Whenever this is taken out, we can see a sharp move on the upside. Okay, so yeah, so I was talking about patterns. So double top buy, double bottom sell, and there is an anchor column. So here if we see, when we click on this green column, which looks like a long column of X, the count is shown as 54. You can see here, the count will be shown here, okay? The count is shown as 54. So whenever there are more than 15 boxes in a single column, we consider that to be an anchor column. That means the price is in a strong trend, whether it be on the upside or on the downside. So it's an anchor column. We consider that column to be pretty important, and we we can take trades on that side. If the anchor column is a bullish anchor column, we take a bullish trade on the stock. If it's a bearish anchor column, we take a bearish trade on the stock. So that is another important pattern for us, anchor column. Then we have high pole and low pole, HP and low LP. So these are again other patterns that I have added from here. You go to add study, pattern. Here you will find all these patterns. So you have, for example, anchor column is there. This I have added to my working. I have added high pole. I have added low pole. All these patterns I have added. So automatically the software is plotting these for me as and when these patterns are made. So a high pole is literally like a top. I mean, it means that the stock or the index was going up. It was giving a double top buy, and then it just kind of stalled there and reversed. So a high pole or a low pole is a significant level because it shows an intermediate top in place. it means the stock is likely to go in the other direction for the time being. Whenever these levels are taken out, if this high pole level, for example, this high pole for Nifty is right now showing us 15,853. So if this level is taken out, then we have reason to turn bullish on Nifty again, which is also matching with our double top buy value. More or less, it is matching maybe 20-30 point difference over here. Here it is 15,853. Here it is 15,885. So there's a 30-point difference. So whenever this high pole level gets taken out along with the double top buy being generated, we will have reason to get bullish on the security being analyzed. Okay. So we have discussed double top buy, double bottom sell. We have discussed anchor column, high pole and low pole. Then we also have something called an ABC breakout. So which is essentially like a triangle breakout. If we look at the National Aluminium NALCO chart on the 1% box value, which is approximately equal to the weekly time frame, then we can see here there is this anchor column. You can see 36 counts, so it's more than 15. So this is an anchor column. When we get an anchor column, the other thing we can do is we can plot targets on it. So this is the tool called multiple vertical count. If we click on this and then we click on the anchor column, it will generate targets for us. These are possible targets. This is the first target. This is the second target. This is the weekly time frame, so we will consider only the first target because the second target will be very far off in the weekly time frame. So here we find after an anchor column, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside bars. You see this anchor column, high and low, has not gotten breached for these 5 columns. So this is called an ABC breakout because subsequent to that, we get this big anchor column again over here and we get a double top buy. So this is a ABC bullish ABC breakout because it's kind of a triangle formation with an anchor column and then subsequently other columns being all inside the anchor column, and then we get a breakout above that, a double top buy above that. So this is called a bullish ABC breakout. This is the other pattern which we want to trade. So here what we do is once the double top buy is generated here, we enter into the trade, and for us the stop loss would be the double bottom sell value. You see the double bottom sell value here. So we enter into the trade and we have a small stop loss of 77.35, which is a double bottom sell value. Or we can also keep it as the single moving average value, which is shown here, 74.38. That depends on your risk appetite and your position sizing as to how low you want to keep your stop loss. Generally, a double bottom sell value is advisable because by that time the stock would have turned weak if at all it has taken out the double bottom sell value. But if you want to play for a big trade, then you might also consider keeping it as a moving average value. That is your call, and the target would be 115. So we are getting a comfortable risk reward trade here where the reward is significantly greater than the risk that we are taking on the trade. This is what a bullish ABC breakout looks like. Okay, am I clear till now? Any questions so far?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, great.
Yes, clear.
Great. So now I'll also talk about, as you know, my favorite topic is relative strength. I've also presented a webinar on this topic and I had explained on TradingView how to apply a relative strength strategy. So I really like this relative strength technique for my trading. So in point and figure charts also, we can use relative strength as well. So we go to chart, there's an option for point and figure relative strength. You see here. So script 1, supposing we plot, let's say, Bajaj Finserv. Script 2, we are comparing against Nifty always. So we plot Nifty 50. Box size we can take as 0.25%, which is the daily chart, and relative strength. So this is plotting a relative strength chart of Bajaj Finance on point and figure. So it's Bajaj Finance divided by Nifty 50 on a point and figure basis. So we can see here that this ratio chart is clearly above the moving average and it has generated a double top buy, right? Now, if we want to drill down to a smaller time frame, we can go to 0.15% and we can make it an intraday chart. 1 minute. There's some problem coming with this. Yeah, so we take the futures values 0.15 and we make it intraday by pressing I. So this is now a Bajaj Finance to Nifty ratio chart plotted with a 0.15% box value, which means intraday. And I have, instead of daily chart, I press D, it becomes a daily chart. You see here, this is D is daily. I make it intraday, 1 minute chart. Then we get a lower box value and lower time frames to trade. So on the higher time frame, we have seen here that the stock is bullish. This is the 0.25% on a daily chart. We have seen that the stock is bullish. It has given a double top buy quite some time back, and the stock is looking very good. There is an anchor column here, which gives us a target. And this is also an anchor column, but we will not plot target on this right now because this is the currently active column. So if we don't plot targets on a currently active column, we don't know where this is going to go until this column is uh, settled. So until we get a column of X, a red column after this, we will not plot a target on this right now. So the last anchor column we have is this, which is giving us a target. This is not a price target. This is a target as per ratio chart. If you want a price target, we have to open the Bajaj Finserv price chart. This is the Bajaj Finserv price chart. This is not the ratio chart. So we can get price targets from here. This is an anchor column. We can plot the target here. Okay, so this is how we get the price target. On the ratio chart, we are just seeing the relative strength, and we are seeing that we have these anchor columns here. This is an anchor column. This is an anchor column. So when we are actively trading the market, right now we are in the column of X as far as this ratio chart is concerned. Whenever this turns into the column of sorry, right now we are in the column of O. So there is a small correction ongoing in an upward trend. Whenever this turns into column of X and also gives us a double top buy, we can enter this trade with a small stop loss. So this is as per the ratio chart. We can do the same as per the price chart also. So we have 0.25 daily. We convert for intraday trade. We can convert to 0.15. Go down to the minute time frame. So we find the target is here. We are right now in column of O. Whenever this turns into a double top buy, we can enter the trade. And you can see here, it will show you the value as to when it will generate a double top buy. So if we click on this, if we are putting the cursor on this column of O, it is showing this double top buy value 12,925. So whenever the stock goes to 12,925, this is the futures chart. So the futures value of Bajaj Finserv goes to 12,925. We will enter the stock for for a long trade with the targets of 13,318 as well as 13,744 with a small stop loss, which once it is in the column of X, it will show us the double bottom sell, which will be essentially the low of this column of O, which is 12,809. That will be our stop loss, and we can enter with these targets. So this is how trades are taken based on point and figure chart. So relative strength analysis can also help here in point and figure, and we can look up the same in our RS setup also. So it is okay to correlate both the candlestick chart as well as the point and figure chart. In fact, that can give the best results if you correlate the both together. Here also we can see there is a new price has made a new high, and relative strength line is also trying to make a new high. It's upward trending, so it's looking good, right? Then we can also do sector analysis here of relative strength. I have already shown you how to do sector analysis using relative strength in TradingView. So we have the relative strength line plotted here against the Nifty. For sector, I told you we use the 14-day period instead of 55. For stocks, it's 55. You can see here, if 55 period. For sectors, I prefer to use 14-day. This is based on my experience because sector rotation happens a lot more quickly. So in 14-day period, this works better. So same thing we can do in point and figure also, where we can select from here NSE all indices, okay, and then we click this right button, go right, and it will take us to every sector one by one. Okay, there seems to be some problem. 1 minute. Okay, right now for some reason it's not working. Anyway, so this is how we can do sector analysis. So for example, if we click PSU Bank Index, Nifty PSU Bank against Nifty 50. Okay, we use box size as 0.25. So this is showing us the relative strength chart of Nifty PSU Bank plotted against the Nifty on a daily time frame. So here we can see that currently we are in a column of O, which means we are undergoing a correction as far as relative strength is concerned, and it is just at the moving average. So it can either take support here or it can turn bearish by going below the moving average. So this way we can check all the sectors. So for example, we want to check, let's say, Nifty metal. So Nifty metal plotted against Nifty 50, box size 0.25%. So here we can see that it was below the moving average. Now it has just gone above the moving average as well as generated a double top buy. And we have anchor columns here, which is giving us higher targets on the metal index. So metal index has turned bullish after undergoing a correction for a short while. Now again, it has turned bullish. We can look at other index also. For example, we look at auto, Nifty auto plotted against Nifty 50. So it is clearly showing that it is below the moving average and it is about to generate a double bottom sell. So Nifty auto is looking bearish. So all this kind of relative strength analysis of sectors is also possible on the point and figure chart. Now TradePoint also gives you a lot of options in terms of ready-made information. So that was the desktop version. I'll just go to the web version now. All these features are available in both the software. It's just that for my live charting, I prefer to use the desktop version. For my research work, I prefer to use the web version because both when used simultaneously, it makes the work easier and faster. So you will find here there is something called D sectors. This D sectors will also give you sector information. So you don't need to look at each sector individually on the point and figure charts if you prefer not to. You can click on D sectors. You have these options of short term, medium term, and long term. So supposing we click medium term and we scan. It will scan all the various sectors that are there and will tell us which are the sectors that are looking bullish on a medium term and which are the sectors that are looking bearish. So the scan is still running. I think my net is a little slow today. Yeah, here we are. So we can find here Realty, it is showing very bullish. You can see this chart is in fact indicating how this sector has been behaving over a period of time. So this is showing an upward trend, means it's bullish. Metal index we have already seen is bullish. Financial services index is also bullish, but kind of tapering off also. So it is having bullishness, but not showing as much strength as it should. Similarly, Bank Nifty and all these other sectors are there. If you want to look at the weak sectors, we scroll below, we'll see these sectors in red: energy, auto, FMCG. So these are the weak sectors. So this D sectors is also a facility you can use. You can run this either on a medium term or on a short term or on a long term, depending on your time frame for the trade. And you can find out which sectors are looking bullish and which are looking bearish. So one way of doing that is to plot a relative strength chart, as I have already shown. And the other way, ready-made information, is just to run this scan on TradePoint called D sectors. This will give you that information too. The other thing you can do to get sector information is this ultimate P&F RS matrix tool. You see here you have this option called matrix. You go to ultimate point and figure relative strength matrix. You click on this. You select NSE all sectors over here and you click scan. So this is scanning all the sectors and it is scoring each sector against the other in terms of whether it is stronger than that or weaker than that. So Nifty Realty, if it is stronger than auto, then it will show a 1 over here. If it is weaker than auto, it will show a 0. So we can find that Nifty Realty is scoring 18, which means it is stronger than all the other sectors put together, all the other sectors. So it is having a maximum score which is possible of 18. This is the most bullish sector. Next comes metal. So this is on a daily time frame because you can see the box size here, it is 0.25%. This is basically data of last Friday. This is based on last Friday's data. So last Friday we know realty and metal were the strongest. So this is what that is showing. If we want to see this on a weekly basis, we change it from 0.25% to 1% box value and we run scan. Then this will give a weekly picture of how the sectors are looking. So when we get this result, we can click on total. So this will kind of arrange the results for us. So on weekly also, we can find realty to be the strongest index because it is stronger than all the others. So it has got a 1 score whenever compared to other sectors. Then comes pharma, then the MNC sector, then consumption. So for example, here you find uh, metal sector has a 0 against Bank Nifty. It means on a weekly basis, metal sector is weaker than Bank Nifty. That is why it has scored a 0. So this is based on overall strength comparison of each sector with all the other sectors put together. That is how this ranking is made. So you can generate this on a daily basis or you can generate this on a weekly basis. So I mentioned about point and figure relative strength chart to plot your identify sectors of strength and weakness. I have mentioned D sectors as the second option and ultimate PNF RS matrix as the third option. Okay, so this is how we do sector analysis on point and figure. Any questions so far? Okay, so I'm assuming that things are clear so far and I'll move ahead. Another useful feature of TradePoint which I want to show you today is if you come to table, there's something called a relative strength report. You click on this. Now let's say I'm interested in mid caps, small and mid caps. So you have all these groups over here which you can use FNO stocks, NSE 500 and all that. So let's say we select over here Nifty mid and small cap 400. Okay. And we want a relative strength report that out of the Nifty mid and small cap 400 stocks, what are they doing against Nifty 50? What is the relative strength of the stocks over here? this report we want to run not on a daily basis. On daily basis, the information becomes too skewed. We want to run it on a weekly basis. So we run scan. This scan will take a little time to generate. What it basically does is it is comparing the performance of the Nifty mid and small cap 400 stocks against Nifty 50 and telling us the ratio of underperformance or outperformance of each stock. So, for example, we can find here AU Bank. 15% outperformance. This score is positive, it's not negative, so that indicates outperformance. So AU Bank has outperformed Nifty by 15% on a weekly basis, so it's looking bullish. So if we look at the AU Bank chart, we can find here it has been in an uptrend, and we can, once this scan has finished running completely, we can again scroll it using this, we can organize it using this ratio performance table here, where we can get the maximum outperforming stocks which are doing well on a weekly basis. So these are the stocks that have a strong weekly performance. We just wait for the results, and then we can see which stocks are coming up on the horizon currently. In the meantime, any questions so far?
Sir, can you explain high pole and low pole again?
High pole and low pole, sure. So high pole and low pole are nothing but significant tops and bottoms. For example, so Nalco. So when you see here, actually this is generated by the software by itself. It's nothing that we have to do. Once we add the study, we go to add study, patterns and tools. You will find high pole and low pole over here. And this is high pole. So once you added the study, the software will generate this automatically for us. Whenever this high pole is generated, it means it's a significant intermediate top. So you can see here this high pole was generated and stock has gone down after that. It means we have no reason to be bullish on this. Like in the candlesticks chart, we say sometimes it's doing a double top or a triple top. So we call it a significant top. So this high pole can be considered as that. It need not necessarily always hold. So for example, we can see here there was a high pole and the stock just went sideways. It did nothing. But at least it tells us not to be bullish on the stock anymore. So here we will not short until the stock is below the moving average and it generates a double bottom sell. But at least when the high pole is generated, we know that's a significant intermediate top. We have no reason to be bullish on the stock. So we will exit any bullish position if we are having. And low pole is just the opposite. Low pole means it's formed a significant bottom. So we will not be bearish on that stock anymore. So supposing we had shorted this stock when the double bottom sell got generated over here, we can find here that there was a double bottom sell. So we would have shorted the stock. We cleared the short right up to this position. Once this low pole is generated, we immediately exit the short position because we know there's no reason to remain short on a stock anymore. It has probably generated an intermediate short-term bottom. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nikunj, hi, Sachin here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nikunj, if you see Prashant's video, he talks about or his webinar in mid cap. He specifically take 1% and 3% on a daily time frame, right? And you are here referring to 0.25%. And if you move up from a 0.25 to 1%, you move that time frame also, right? On a charting, I'm saying.
Yes, actually, see, this is the box values are each individual person's preference depending on the time horizon for which you want to take trades. 3%, according to me, is a very large box size and it becomes a pretty long-term trade. I would not advocate 3%. Even for mid caps, what I would say is 1% is a good box size to use. For example, if we look at, let's say, SpiceJet on the 1% time frame, right? We find here this is an anchor column and there's something called, the other pattern I have forgot to speak about, sorry, it's an important pattern, is the 45-degree trend line. This is also an important pattern in point and figure. So just like in candlestick charts, we draw trend lines. So in point and figure, we have that automated. It doesn't, so when we draw in candlestick charts, it is up to us how we draw the trend line, which points we connect, how we connect, all that is up to us. In point and figure, it has been made objective. The whole idea behind point and figure is to make everything as objective as possible and not leave it to the user's discretion. So there's a pattern called a 45-degree trend line. We can run this 45-degree trend line on significant patterns like an anchor column or a high pole. On all of these, we can run 45-degree trend line. So if we draw a 45-degree trend line from this anchor column, we find on the 1% box value chart of SpiceJet that it might just be breaking out of this 45-degree trend line. If this breakout happens, we can enter this trade with a small stop loss, because a stop loss will be a double bottom sell value, or it will be the moving average value, which approximately is 77. If this breakout happens, which is very close to happening, then we have a breakout from a 45-degree trend line of this anchor column. So we can take a long trade on SpiceJet with this small stop loss. This is how we can do it on mid caps. So I prefer 1% for mid caps. Some people can also prefer using 0.25%. That is their choice completely, depending on the time frame of the trade you wanting to take. So this is the 0.25% box value. Here you can find that you have a high pole. So whenever this high pole is taken out, so the high value generated during the high pole is 82.25. Whenever that level is taken out, you can enter the trade with this stop loss. 3% will generate very large term trades. I mean, this trade will have big stop loss, big targets, big time frame. So I don't prefer 3%. 1% I think for mid caps is optimum.
So the reason why I asked this question is and I wanted to correct my understanding. Thought process was because volatility in mid and small is pretty high, and that's why you go for 1% or 3%. Is it the right understanding?
So actually it depends. See, if you are on the candlestick chart, if you are taking trades in mid caps using the monthly chart, then you can use 3% over here on point and figure. But if you don't do that, if on candlestick you use either the weekly or the daily chart, then I would suggest that you take either 1% or 0.25%, because as I had explained earlier, 0.25% can be considered to be the equivalent of daily, 1% can be considered to be the equivalent of weekly, and 3% can be considered to be the equivalent of monthly.
Understood.
And right now I've been discussing FNO stocks. So FNO stocks, in any case, 3% becomes a very large box size, because FNO, you usually in future stocks you have leverage, so you cannot afford large stop losses and all that. So it's better to take 0.25, 1%. But if you're doing intraday, then 0.15% drill down to the 1 minute time frame is also good. So it depends actually on what time frame you trade. Depending on what time frame you're trading on candlesticks, accordingly you can decide the box value you want to take for point and figure.
Nikunj, for this anchor columns, there are two targets which we saw. With what logic does these targets come out in the software?
This is generated by the software. We don't need to know the logic for it, because that is the work the software is doing for us. See, TradePoint is a beautiful software. Prashant has really put his team, they have really put their brains behind working this, and they have designed a lot of programming logic and given us a lot of features. In fact, today I can't even cover half of the features that are there in TradePoint. It is such an extensive software. So yeah, certain things that we can rely on for the software to manage for us. So the target it is generating is based on a multiple vertical count, which is this one that we are using. The more anchor columns give the target, the more confidence we get. So if there are 2 or 3 anchor columns giving the same target, so you can see here, there are 2 anchor columns giving a target of 112 to 115. So this target is more than likely to be achieved, because you're getting a multiple cluster count of the same range of target. So that is the work of the software is doing. We just have to follow the target and the stop loss given by double bottom sell value.
Okay, thank you.
Can we have another example for a ABC? Doubt is whether the patterns will fall, triangle pattern will fall between 2 anchor columns. That would be ABC.
No, it doesn't necessarily. The subsequent column doesn't need to be an anchor column. Basically, if you have an anchor column, we know that the stock is in a bullish trend. After that, it is giving a minor correction because it is giving only inside columns. It is not giving us a double bottom sell. It is not going below the moving average. So it is just giving us inside columns. And then you get a double top buy. So that itself is good enough. You don't need a follow through anchor column, because essentially what you're doing, you are following through on this anchor column. You already have an anchor column, then you have a sideways action, and you are getting a double top buy here. So this is the anchor column follow through buy, because you are following through on this anchor column. It's just like in candlestick, when we have a large candle, a stock makes a 15%, 20% move in a single day. So we have a large candle. What we do, we try to let that stock consolidate for a day or two, and then we try and enter the trade with the low of that large candle as a stop loss. So it's just kind of similar to that. Basically, we are allowing the stock to consolidate for a while, and then as soon as it gives a double top buy, we are assuming that this anchor column, since this anchor column was plotted, it means the stock is bullish. We get targets from the anchor column, and we enter the trade as soon as double top buy is generated.
Okay, but double top buy is also generated on the second anchor column, right?
Yeah, in this instance it is, but I'm saying it's not necessary that there has to be a follow through anchor column. Like in this case, you have got a second anchor column after the first one. This might not necessarily always be the case. It's good enough if you don't have a follow through anchor column. You just have a double top buy after an anchor column. That's good enough.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah. So now coming back to the relative strength report that I was talking
Sir.
about. Yeah, is there a question?
Yes, sir, one question. Sir, like whatever the target we get on an anchor column, so what are the expected time frame for that target? Like if we take a box size of 0.25%, then the target will come in within on daily basis now?
No, this in point and figure, see, we cannot get time targets. Like in candlesticks, I have shown you how there are certain patterns. We can probably get to know the time target also, that we can get this target within the certain time frame. In point and figure, that is not possible. You cannot know the time. You just follow the patterns, and as long as the double top buy is active, you do not get a double bottom sell. You stay in the trade. Your stop loss is not triggered. You stay in the trade. It's not possible to get a time target. Okay. Now coming back to the relative strength report, which I had talked about. So this report has now been generated. We click on ratio performance. So this gives us the top performing stocks. So you can see Equitas, Rain Industries, HFCL, Motilal Oswal, Shobha Developers, KPR Mill, Edelweiss. These are all the stocks that are bullish as per the relative strength report. If you want to see the weak stocks, then these are the stocks that are looking weak as of now. So this relative strength report is a pretty useful tool which can give you a scan of all the mid and small cap 400 or the Nifty 500, depending on whatever you use. All the categories are here. You have the FNO stocks. So you can scan for FNO stocks against Nifty, generate this report. That will give you a report for all the FNO stocks. So you can do for mid and small caps. You can do for Nifty 500 stocks. So this is a pretty useful report that gives you a nice picture of all the stocks on a weekly basis. This is one good feature of TradePoint. Yeah. The other one that I want to talk about is the scanner. The scanner in TradePoint is pretty useful. You know, they have given a lot of scanning options. Like there's an end of day scanner, which we like to use. You have candlestick scanner, point and figure scanner, point and figure relative strength scanners. All these scanners are there. So if, for example, we go to PNF scanner, because right now today our focus is on point and figure. So we'll talk about the PNF scanner. We click on that. Supposing we do all scripts. So it has defined a lot of predefined patterns for us, which we can scan for. So basically, we don't need to check manually for each chart. Like generally, when you're doing candlesticks, what happens? We have to check for each chart what the stock is doing, how it's looking. Here, because the system of trading in point and figure is so objective, they have objectively defined various patterns which you can just scan for at the end of the day to know which stocks are in that pattern. So for example, we want to see, let's say, which are the stocks that are giving a double top buy. Okay, so here is a scan for double top buy signal. Let's say we want, instead of all scripts, because it will scan a lot, let's just make it FNO stocks. So FNO stocks, we want to see which are the stocks that are giving a double top buy signal with a box size of 0.25% on daily basis. We click fresh because we don't want the old ones, and we run the scan. So it's scanning all the FNO stocks to see which are the stocks that are presently giving a double top buy. So we get all these stocks. For example, Adani Ports. We click on it. It opens the chart for us, 0.25% on a daily time frame. You can see here that we are getting a double top buy, but this stock is below the moving average currently, so we will not take this bullish trade. So we can look at the other results. Let's say Bajaj Finserv we have already looked at, it's looking very bullish. Let's say Glenmark. So Glenmark, we can see that it's above the moving average, and this is what is called a triple top buy. It's similar to double top buy, just that instead of the one column high being taken off, here what has happened is there are two columns of X which are at the same level. Here you see 661.42 is the high, and this column also has same high of 661.42. Both these column high has been taken out by the current column. So this becomes a triple top buy. Instead of a double top buy, we have a triple top buy. So this stock is looking very bullish right now. Here we have an anchor column. We can plot the target. We're getting a first target of this, second target of this with a triple top buy. So we enter this trade with a stop loss of 651.5, which is also the, or we can take the double bottom sell value as a stop loss, which is 648. So this is kind of giving us an easy trade here. Similarly, we can look at, so these are all day end scanners that we can run to know which are the stocks that are looking good. So we look at DLF. DLF again we can find it's trading above the moving average, and it has already generated a double top buy. So since here the double top buy has been generated a while back and there are certain number of boxes already over and above it, we can, so this, if we decide that the stop loss here is pretty big, we can drill down to intraday time frame also. So first thing we can do is there's a high pole here. We can generate a 45-degree trend line. We can either decide that we want to take a bullish trade on this once this breakout happens from the 45-degree trend line, or we can decide that we want to be bullish on the stock now, but since the stop loss here is far, we drill down to a smaller time frame, which is 0.15% intraday, and we can take the trade based on that also. So this scanning mechanism of trade point is very useful. I use this a lot. I have also generated some custom scans. For example, you have the system builder. In system builder, you can come and you can create your own scans. So I have created some candlestick scanners of my own. So here you come to system builder, create system builder, type in the name of the system you want to create, and you add conditions from here. You can add condition as per indicator or as per pattern, say RSI above 60 or moving average above 55. All of those conditions you can add here, or you can add as per pattern, and then you define in expression you define how many of those conditions have to be met. It has to be, if you define 5 conditions in one scan, so it can be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So all 5 conditions have to be met, or you can define it as 1 or 2 and 3. So all those kind of combinations you can run here. That is the job of what you do in this expression. You can build your own scans. So for example, I have built 2 scans here for candlestick. The first one is 200 EMA plus bullish candle. The second is 21 EMA plus hammer. So a stock which has just gone above these moving averages and the bullish candles have been generated, like a hammer or a bullish candle has been generated. So this scan will give me that result. So once I have created the scan, I can run it. Scanner, candlestick scanner. Instead of predefined pattern, I go to user defined system because I have defined my own system here. So supposing we click this one, 21 EMA plus hammer, and we run it on, let's say, Nifty 500. So this will not give a lot of results, but when it gives a result, it is usually a good one. So it's a very specific scanner actually. I put in quite a few conditions in the scan. So I'm just trying to show you what kind of, like, you have a lot of predefined scans which are already given in the system, and you can also generate your own scans. They're all the features given, and you can generate your own scans. We'll just wait for a minute while this is running. In the meantime, are there any questions?
Nikunj, related to scanners, last this thing you also explained the scanners and combination scans in the stockage.
Correct.
That also you had. So this one here, TradePoint looks more comprehensive. What is your opinion about these two scanners comparatively?
I use both actually. I mean, there are certain good scans in Stockage which are not available in TradePoint. There are certain scans available in TradePoint which are not available in Stockage. So I use both. I mean, you can define various scanners. For me, basically, the scanning does all the work. I don't have to identify stocks manually. Scans do all the work. At the end of the day, I run all my scans both on Stockage as well as on TradePoint, and I get a list of stocks that I want to look at for the next day. So that kind of makes my work pretty easy.
Nikunj, there is a web version, as you said, and there's a desktop version, right?
Correct.
So one needs to subscribe both of it, or independently, or how is it?
So basically, I think they keep changing that system, and they keep changing the plan there. Right now, I believe if you subscribe for the desktop version, you automatically get the web version free, if I'm not mistaken. You can check out their plans on the website. You don't need both. The desktop version is comprehensive. You have everything here. Even the web version is comprehensive. You can make do with one. But anyway, since I get subscription to both under my current subscription, I just use both. I use this for my charting, my live charting, and I use the web version for the research work. So I can run both simultaneously. It makes my work faster.
But both have the same features, right?
Both have the same features, yes.
And that can work live, both of them, right?
A desktop version is definitely live. Web version, I believe there are some restrictions. I think it gives end of day data. I'm not so sure. Actually, web version I'm not using for live data. Web version I'm only using for my research work. I use the desktop version for all my live work, all the live data. So you'll have to look into that. You have to go to their website and the plans are listed. It tells all the features, which is available in what. Okay. So this is the scanning mechanism. Now, for example, if we want to run a scan, which I have shown before, we can scan on this is point and figure scanner I was talking about. There's also a point and figure relative strength scanner. So supposing we run this. So we select FNO stocks, denominator Nifty 50. So now we are running a scan for point and figure relative strength. So on relative strength chart, it should show a double top buy. The stock should show a double top buy as against Nifty 50. So it's a ratio chart double top buy that we are talking about on a daily time frame. This we can in fact convert to weekly also by changing the box size from 0.25 to 1%. That is our choice. So we run the scan. It will generate all those stocks which on a daily basis are showing relative strength against the Nifty.
Nikunj, while the scan is going on, there is also a scanner available in TradingView. So do you happen to use that, or even in the this thing, the screener and all?
TradingView doesn't have any scanner to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
TradingView does not have a scanning mechanism at all. It's a charting platform primarily and doesn't have a scanning mechanism. For scanning, you can use other websites like you have chartinc.com. You have scanners there. So there are various platforms. I mean, whichever you prefer. I prefer to use TradePoint and Stockage. You can choose any platform that you prefer. My point is that you should use scanners. You know, it is helpful to identify stocks in an easy way. So it makes your job easier. You have to spend less time. So you should use scanners. Which platform you use is your choice. No problem with that.
No, I was talking about screeners on TradingView. Screener.
No, TradingView doesn't have those features of screening, scanning, all that is not there in TradingView.
No, TradingView has good screeners.
Is it? Then I am
Yeah.
not aware of it.
Yeah.
Stock screeners, it has good ones.
Where is it?
It's in the main this thing when you
Just on the bottom left, you'll find.
Yeah, even on the main screen, you have this chart, trades, market, screeners, community. That not the detailed charts, the one which comes before. When you just open tradingview.com that time, or you can do in.tradingview.com/screener. Then you will get the screeners.
Okay, I think I have checked the screening facility of TradingView before. I found it to be very basic in terms of it just, you can filter by market cap and volumes traded and all that. So there's a little bit of screening that is there. It was not to my satisfaction. It's not the kind of comprehensive scanning that I want. So I didn't like it.
Okay.
If you are comfortable with it, you can use it, no problem. Yeah. So now just coming back to what I was talking about, the scan must have completed by now. So it has generated a report for us of all the stocks that are giving a double top buy on the ratio chart against the Nifty on a daily time frame. Now we can save this as a group. Supposing we save this as relative strength by 12th July. Okay, we save it. So these are the bullish stocks. Now we again go to scanner, point and figure scanner. This time the group, instead of selecting as FNO stocks, we only select the bullish stocks that we have already identified using the ratio chart, using the relative strength chart, which is RS by 12 July. We have saved this as a group. So we select this. So now we are only scanning these stocks for a double top buy on a normal price chart. So we have identified the stocks based on relative strength, formed a group for it. Now we want to see which are the stocks in those strong stocks that are generating a double top buy as of now. So it is giving us these results. And it is also mentioned over here how much percentage it is away from the double bottom sell level. When you are buying a stock, why is double bottom sell important to you? Because that is your stop loss. So if we sort this using this column of double percentage from double bottom sell, we can get bullish stocks that are in double top buy with a small stop loss. Because if it is 14% away from double bottom sell, that is a very big stop loss for you to have if you enter into a long trade in say Naveen Fluorine or AU Bank. Your stop loss is a good 14.5% away. So it is not a favorable risk reward trade. So if you sort it as per this column, you can get trades for long with a small stop loss. Here you can see Manappuram, NAM India, these are showing double top buy and the stop loss is pretty small. So if you click the NAM India chart, we can see here it's above the moving average and it has generated double top buy. We have an anchor column here where we can plot the target and we can enter this trade, right? So these are some of the scans which you can use. The other thing you can do, so supposing you get a list of stocks, like I generally put this report on a group, right? This report looks pretty familiar to you. So I've identified the bullish sectors here as per the D sector report. Breadth I'll come to later in the webinar. I have not yet addressed the breadth. So I have generated double top buy for these stocks, Bajaj Finserv, National Aluminium and NAM India. These are looking good to me for long trades. So now I want to identify exact levels for these stocks to trade in. I can make a sheet like this where I can define the entry, target, stop loss, how much the risk is, all that I can do here. How I do that is, there's this option called matrix. I click on matrix, there is RS matrix, relative strength matrix. I select, currently I'm looking at FNO stocks. So I select FNO stocks. Script to the denominator will be Nifty 50. I run the scan. This is generating a relative strength report for all the FNO stocks in a matrix format where I'm also getting the performance score and each stock is being ranked. So if there are 158 stocks in the FNO universe, it will rank each stock for me against the other stocks as to which is looking more bullish or bearish for that matter. So once this report is generated, I'll tell you how I use it. I export it to an Excel and I use it to get a ranking and a performance score. So that is a relative strength rank. Basically, my idea is I have these trades for long, Bajaj Finserv, National Aluminium, and NAM India. I have these trades for possible short. I haven't yet looked at the charts of these. I don't know whether I want to short it or not. This is just as per the scan. Then I would want to look at the chart and decide whether I actually want to take a short trade, because in bull market, short trades don't do very well. I want to be careful with shorts. I'm more comfortable with the long trades. So I want to now look at each stock individually, which is why I'm running this RS matrix. This is completed. There's an option called export. So I export it to Excel. Okay, I've got this in Excel. I run a sort on this. I sort it by ranking score, largest to smallest. So you see this ranking score. So Coforge has the highest rank right now of all the F&O stocks, followed by Bajaj Finserv, Navin Fluorine, Balkrishna, Bharat Forge, National Aluminium, Alco. These are all the strong stocks. Now what I can do here, once I have the ranking score, I can just plot the numbers. I can give them numbers. So this is the stock with the highest rank. This is the stock with the lowest rank. Amara Batteries is having the lowest rank. So there are 162 stocks in the F&O universe. This is generating a report for me, which is telling me which stock is ranking where in terms of relative strength against the other stocks in the F&O universe. So like a rank of 16 means Pidilite is amongst the top 16 bullish stocks in the F&O universe. So now that I have this report, what I do is I'm interested in Bajaj Finserv, Nalco, and NAM India. So I will look up their performance parameters here. So if I go to Bajaj Finserv, I can see here that the ranking is 2, which means it's ultra bullish, and it also has a performance score. This performance score is essentially the number of boxes in the column after double top buy was generated. So this is clearly showing me that Bajaj Finserv is a very bullish stock. So this is further confirmation that I am getting. And in my trade sheet here, what I'll do is from the chart, I'll put in the entry level, target, and stop loss. Target from the anchor column. Stop loss would be the double bottom sell level. And I'll put in the relative strength rank. So Bajaj Finserv, I'll put in 2 here because Bajaj Finserv is having a relative strength rank of 2, as we have seen. And I'll put in the performance score as 8 in this sheet. So I have all the information here in a single sheet for my next day trading as to which stock I'm looking to enter for long, which stock I'm looking to enter for short, what their relative strength rank is, what their performance score is. All of this comes in a single snapshot for me if I run this RS matrix report. Is this report clear? I have gone to matrix, RS matrix. I have selected F&O stocks, denominator as Nifty 50, and I have run this report. So this once it's generated, I export it to Excel. After exporting it to Excel, I sort it as per the ranking score from largest to smallest, and then I'm just putting the ranking here by manual 1, 2, 3. Depending on the highest score, the stock having highest score gets ranking as 1, and the stock having lowest score gets the last ranking. Simple enough.
Nikunj, this works for the cash market and for the Nifty as well as mid and small also, right?
This is primarily useful more for F&O stocks. For the mid caps, I would prefer using the relative strength report, which I had shown earlier. That will give me the strong stocks. I don't see much point in ranking the mid caps because there are so many of them. F&O stocks, the universe is limited. It's easier to generate the ranks.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk about breadth. Okay. So TradePoint gives us a wonderful feature for scanning for market breadth. Let's say we want to see we want to see currently what is the number of stocks that are trading above the 20-day moving average, for example. So we select breadth, we select OHLC indicator breadth, indicator moving average, single moving average. We want the closing price to be above the moving average, so we select that option, close price above moving average. Let's say 20 period. So we are wanting to see how many stocks in the Nifty 50 right now are trading above the 20-day moving average. That is what we are doing here, right? So here the group we select Nifty 500, or sorry, Nifty 50, because we were checking for Nifty 50, and we run scan. So you get the breadth reading here at the bottom of the panel. You see this OHLC indicator breadth. This is telling us the number of stocks in Nifty 50 that are presently trading above the 20-day moving average. So it's right now at 43%. So approximately less than half of the stocks are above the short-term moving average. So it talks about the trend of the market. We have literally been having a downtrend lately. So this number has turned a little bearish, which was pretty high at around 92% around 11th of June, when we were having a roaring bull market. At that point of time, this number was around 90%. So almost all the Nifty 50 stocks were trading above their short-term moving average. Now it is less than half. So we can check various kinds of breadths here. We can check against 20-day moving average, 50, 200-day moving average, whatever. I mean, it's our choice. For example, I was just checking for how many stocks in the Nifty mid and small cap are trading above their 200-day moving average, right? Because we are in a bull market, all the stocks have run up a lot, so most of them would be above the 200-day moving average. I just wanted to check numerically what percentage that is. So I selected the 200-day moving average here. In the group, I selected mid and small cap 400. This one, Nifty mid and small cap 400, and I ran the scan. This was an astonishing result. I mean, though you would normally assume it because we have been in such a bull market, but you still, if you see it with your eyes, you realize it's above 90%. So almost all the stocks in the mid and small cap 400 are right now trading above the 200-day moving average. So these kind of scans also you can run to get an idea of market breadth and what the market is doing overall. You can get it as a snapshot. We'll just wait for the scan to finish.
So if the market breadth is lower, even if you get trade double top signals, you won't take a buy call.
No, so it depends. See, right now we are in a bull market, right? So if the market breadth gets overheated, then in fact there is a chance of a correction coming in. But in that correction, if the breadth then again becomes average, or it becomes a little lower than average, and the bullish structure of the market is intact, it can actually be a good opportunity for buying.
Okay.
See, you see here, so 92% of stocks in the Nifty mid and small cap 400 are right now trading above their 200-day moving average. And you can run these scans for a number of years also. Like right now, we have run it for a small duration to keep the time frame small. Otherwise, the scan will take a long time to run. You can run it over last 10 years to compare, what happened in previous bull market, where we are now. All those kind of analysis you can do. This is one way you can look at breadth. The other thing I like doing about breadth is I go to scanner. So this was from this function called breadth, what we did all this. And you can also run breadth scanners on double top percent, how many stocks are in point and figure double top buy right now, how many stocks are in X percent, so they are in trading in column of X. All those scans you can run here. The other breadth scanner that I found useful is when we go to scanner, there is something called breadth scanner. Now here, let's say we do 0.25%. and we scan. So this is going to now scan all the various sectors that are there defined in TradePoint, all the various groups that are there, and it's going to scan for their breadth and give you numbers. So you can see here, you have X% breadth and you have double top breadth, which means X% is number of stocks trading in column of X. So they are trading in a bullish column. Double top breadth means that the stock is currently giving a double top buy. So for example, in agriculture index that is there in Define Edge, only 14% stocks right now are trading in bullish column. So it means agriculture as a sector is not all that bullish as per this report, because not too many stocks are trading in a bullish column of X. And you have zero stocks from the sector giving a double top buy. So this can also be a mechanism to identify which sectors are looking good. We have done this on a daily time frame, which was 0.25% box size to make it a little faster. You can run this on a 1% box size to get a more comprehensive picture on a weekly time frame. Okay. So once you run this scan, I'm going to cancel it because it's going to take a little time. Once you run this scan, you can sort it and you can see which are the bullish sectors. Okay, so for example, we find construction sector showing 74% stocks from this sector are in column of X, and approximately half of the stocks in the sector are giving a double top buy. So it means that this sector is looking good as of now, and you can buy stocks from this sector. For example, you have power, you have telecom, all these sectors are looking bullish. If we look at, so similarly, you will find for metal also, you will find numbers here. So you can identify sectors here. Once you identify the sectors using this facility of breadth, then you can go to matrix, RS matrix. So you know, for example, you have identified from there that metal sector is looking good or power sector is looking good. So let's say we want to scan for which are the stocks within metal index. Metal index we have identified is looking good. Now we want to scan which are the stocks within metal index which are looking good. So we come to matrix, RS matrix, relative strength matrix. We select the group as metal index. The script 2 is Nifty 50 because we want to compare against Nifty 50. We run the scan. Now it will scan all the stocks in the metal index against Nifty 50 to tell us which are the stocks that are looking bullish. So we sort this by ranking score. Whichever stocks have the highest ranking score, they are the bullish ones. So we can find Nalco, APL Apollo, Tata Steel, and MOIL. These are the bullish stocks. The ones that are having negative score, they are bearish stocks. So this, once we identified the sector, this RS matrix can be used to identify which are the stocks from that sector that are bullish and that are bearish, right? So if we get a bearish sector, then we want to look for shorting opportunities. We look for the weak stocks. So we look for the stock with the lowest ranking, negative ranking. And if we get bullish sectors, then we want to look for strong stocks to buy. So we look for positive scores and we get Nalco and APL Apollo as the top picks. That's what I do here when I present this report in our group. Once I identified the sector, like metals is a bullish sector, I will put Nalco and APL Apollo here, names I'll put here as strong stocks for possible buying. So similarly, I can look at realty. Realty index against Nifty, scan, sort the column by ranking score. So I can see Shobha Developers, Suntech Realty, Brigade, almost all the stocks in fact are bullish in the realty sector. Only a couple of them are looking a little bearish. So I know which are the strongest stocks from the sector. This is one approach that I can use. The other approach I can use is again a scanner called top-down approach scanner. So right now we have used the RS matrix to identify the stock. We can also use the top-down approach scanner to do the same. So here I select metal index, denominator as Nifty 50, top-down approach, and I scan. Oh, sorry, I have to select two denominators here. So CNX metal, Nifty metal. Yeah. So metal index stocks I am scanning against Nifty 50, and I run the scan. This is generating scores here. This again I sort. So I again find here Nalco, Tata Steel, Hindalco coming as the strong stocks. and the weak stocks on the sector are NMDC, Coal India, Hindustan Zinc. So I can run these two reports simultaneously when the both reports are giving me the same information. So both reports are confirming Nalco and Tata Steel as bullish. So I know that those are good trades to take on the long side. So this is the other option we have also. So in this report, the breadth I'm putting here, the sector breadth, this I've shown you just now how we generate using this feature of breadth scanner. We can select box size here. I usually run both 1% and 0.25%, and then I put in this report which are the sectors, the top 4 or 5 sectors that are bullish, the top 4 or 5 sectors which are bearish. This is the X% breadth, this is the double top percent breadth. So you can see here both in X% and in double top percent, realty index is most bullish. D sector report is also confirming realty is very bullish. We find cement, construction as common names in X% and double top percent. So these are all bullish sectors: realty, cement, construction. So we can look for stocks within these sectors to take long trades on. Similarly, I put in the X% and double top percent for Nifty 50, FNO stocks, Bank Nifty, Nifty 500. All this is just kind of a daily report I generate for my own use. And here I have identified the stocks for double top buy. In the trade sheet, I have planned the entry exit. I have not done it for these stocks yet, but in the trade sheet, I have planned the entry exit, the relative strength rank, and performance score. Is it clear so far? Are there any questions?
It's clear.
Okay, great. So now I'll talk about one or two other features that have been recently introduced by TradePoint, which I find pretty useful. So those of you who have attended my webinar on relative strength or who have even seen the video on YouTube, you know about the importance I give to stocks when they have been in a downtrend or they have been below the RS0 line and they just start breaking out above the RS0 line. So TradePoint has also given us a scanner for that. There is something called RS indicator scanner. Okay, in scanning function we have RS indicator scanner. We go here, we select, let's say, mid and small cap 400. We want to be comparing against Nifty 50 because that is what we are doing here, right? Here in our relative strength working, when we are comparing against Nifty. So we select here Nifty 50. Period we use 55, right? You see, period we use is 55. So we change it here to from 50 to 55. Not that it makes a lot of difference. And we run the scan. So it will tell us in the mid and small cap 400 stocks, which are the stocks that are below zero line, above zero line. It will also tell us which are the stocks that are crossing. They were above zero line, but they are now crossing below it, or they were below zero line and now they are crossing above it. So we see here above zero line, below zero line, and here we have bullish zero crossover. You see this? Okay, let it just finish running. Yeah, I can cancel it and we can see based on these stocks only. So we check the status. Bullish zero crossover. You see here, Ashok Leyland. So now if we go to Ashok Leyland chart here, yeah. So we can see we have got in the scan here, we have seen that it's showing a bullish zero crossover. It means it was below the RS line on a 55 period basis was below zero so far. Now it has just crossed above zero. You can check that here. You can see clearly that it was below zero and now it is just starting to come up above zero. So this can be another stock we can keep an eye on if it shows a price breakout, or we can open up a PNF chart for it and we can look here what it's doing. So This is 0.25% on a daily basis. Okay, so it's in a column of O, which means it's correcting. It's below single moving average, so we don't want to be buying this stock now. We will wait for some kind of a bullish signal to be generated. We can drill down to smaller time frame, 0.5% on a minute basis. This also is not giving us any positive confirmation as of now. There is a high pole in place. At the very least, we want this high pole to have a breakout from the 45-degree trend line before we buy. But this can at least give us those stocks which are starting to come above the RS0 line, and we can keep our eye out on them. For example, AU Bank. If we look at the AU Bank chart, on our framework for relative strength, we find here it was below zero all this while, just starting to come up above zero. So this is a scan which kind of shows us when the stock is just starting to turn bullish. It can be on a watch list and we can buy when we see a price breakout. So this is the RS indicator scanner. I wanted to touch upon this because it correlates very easily with my webinar on relative strength, and this helps us identify the stocks which are coming up above the zero line. Okay, am I clear? So guys, I have covered mostly everything that I wanted to cover today. Things like system builder, etc. will take more time. This is a little more complex as to how to build the systems, though I touched upon it very briefly. But if you are using TradePoint, you can also get help from TradePoint guys on how to do it. They are very responsive. Whenever I've had a small issue, I've put in a request, they immediately call back and they help me. They take over the system and they show me how it is done. So you can also take their help. Now, I'll take any questions if there are on whatever I have spoken about today.
Nikunj, small request, not a question, because there's a lot you have covered and pretty good in terms of explanation. But still, if you want to practice, is there a recording would be available, or we can touch base?
Yes, I am trying to record this session. I am recording it as of now. So hopefully I should be able to provide it unless something goes wrong with the system. So hopefully I'll give the recording, and for follow-up questions and everything, I'm always there. You can just ask in the chat window and I'll answer.
Sure, thanks a lot.
Right. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, can you look for the Craftsman?
Sorry, can you speak a little louder?
Craftsman, can you look for the Craftsman? Craftsman automation.
Ankit, I cannot hear you. Guys, I take it there are no further questions. Should we end the webinar now? Thanks for the appreciation. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Nick. Really appreciate. Thanks a lot.
Great. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday and have a good trading week.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Nikunj. Bye-bye.
ये खोल के भेजो ना। हाँ हाँ, कैसे खुल जाएगी, ऐसे ही।